What's the secret move that made even American media lose their minds over his comeback? What's hidden behind this rising wave of streaming, shares, and screams? And why are fans saying, this isn't just a comeback? This feels like a global awakening, seemingly overnight. Jungkook's name surged to the very top of trending lists across the United States. Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Google, everywhere. The question that has the whole world curious: how did Jungkook, in the middle of a silent chapter in his career, suddenly ignite a wildfire across the American music scene again? And why does this comeback feel different from anything we've seen before? Some say it began when his solo track started gaining unexpected traction on American radio stations. Others trace the spark back to a viral moment on TikTok where a famous influencer danced to the chorus, without even tagging Jungkook's name, and yet the algorithm did the rest. But many believe this is not a coincidence. It's the result of something deeper, something strategic, something only Jungkook could pull off, even in silence. You see, while he was away serving his country, the world didn't forget Jungkook. On the contrary, his music became a lifeline. His lyrics, his melodies, his voice, they turned into the soundtrack of waiting. Fans weren't just hoping he would return. They were counting the days. And as if on cue, the moment the world collectively sighed in longing, the music came back. But wait, here's where things get shocking. The song in question wasn't new. It wasn't released this month. It wasn't even a part of a current album campaign. It was a track from his earlier solo debut, one that critics had praised but didn't dominate charts at first. Now, it's soaring, rising faster than any of his past hits. Suddenly, America is streaming it nonstop. DJs are replaying it. Celebrities are sharing it. News anchors are mentioning it casually, like it's the most obvious cultural phenomenon right now. But why this song? Why now? And what does Jungkook know that we don't? Behind the scenes, some music insiders are whispering about a quiet deal, a marketing play that involved no traditional promotion, no expensive ads, no celebrity endorsements. Just the music. Just Jungkook. Just the connection he built over years. One powerful enough to shake an entire continent back into obsession. As of this week, Spotify reports a 413% increase in US streams for the song. Apple Music placed it in their Hot in the US playlist. Billboard's trending chart listed it in the top 5 for digital downloads, without a single promotional campaign. Even Rolling Stone magazine published a headline: "The Return of the Golden Magne, and America Can't Get Enough." But is this just a temporary wave of excitement? Or is Jungkook quietly rewriting what it means to go viral, without even being present? What many don't realize is that Jungkook's influence is no longer confined to K-pop or Korea. His name now resonates as a global artist, someone who doesn't need a comeback stage to return. He doesn't even need to say a word. His presence alone triggers mass attention. That's not idle popularity. That's cultural force. Still, the story doesn't end there. Because the next part is even more surprising. Sources close to HYB suggest that this viral rise wasn't entirely unplanned. Though no one from the label has made an official statement, insiders have noted a series of small but intentional signs: curated playlists, sudden visual revamps of his older music videos, and unexplained edits to his artist profiles on streaming platforms. Could this be Jungkook's way of speaking without speaking? Of telling fans, "I'm coming, get ready"? What makes this all the more emotional for ARMY is knowing how much of Jungkook's heart went into this music. He recorded some of those songs late at night, alone in the studio. He wrote lyrics that reflected not hype or fame, but vulnerability, growth, pain, and hope. Songs about finding peace, about letting go, about chasing your light in a world that keeps changing. And now those songs are finally being heard, really heard, by millions who may have never paid attention before. And it's not just the fans who are reacting to this. Radio hosts are calling it a musical resurrection. DJs from coast to coast are requesting the track. Even non-K-pop fans, listeners who previously dismissed the genre, are tweeting things like, Okay, this Jungkook song hits different. Who is this guy? There's something magnetic in his voice. Something that crosses language, culture, time zones. Could this be the beginning of Jungkook's true American breakthrough? Not just as a Korean pop star, but as a global artist with staying power in the world's biggest music market. There's more. Rumors are now swirling that Jungkook may be planning something big, right? A surprise US concert? A collab with an American legend? A live Grammy performance that nobody expects. Insiders won't confirm. Fans don't need confirmation. They're watching every move. Every stream counts. Every lyric suddenly feels like a message, like breadcrumbs leading to something larger. And now, the one question everyone's afraid to ask: what if this is just the beginning of something much, much bigger? Jungkook may be trending in America today, but what happens when the world realizes he never stopped being the moment? As the streaming numbers climb hour by hour, as hashtags multiply into the millions, and as armies in every state rally behind a song that once felt like a quiet confession, one thing is becoming undeniable. This is not random. This is not a coincidence. This is an unfolding narrative, a carefully planted musical seed finally blooming across borders. The track in question, let's call it 7, wasn't intended to be a global hit when it first dropped. It wasn't accompanied by the usual glitz of a full album cycle. There was no music video premiere or dance challenge or talk show rollout. And yet, it's this exact absence of spectacle that may be the very reason behind its success today. In a world tired of hype, people crave truth. And Jungkook's voice, raw, stripped, honest, delivers it in every note. The sudden rise has left even American industry experts puzzled. Music analysts are now dissecting the song's trajectory, noting unusual patterns. Unlike typical viral hits that explode and fall within days, Jungkook's song is experiencing something different: momentum. Not a spike, but a wave. A slow burn that is somehow getting hotter and deeper every single day. It's the kind of growth that doesn't just grab attention. It earns loyalty. So why is the American audience suddenly connecting to it in this way? The answer may lie in timing. After months of noise, conflict, and cultural fatigue, the world, and especially America, seems to be collectively craving authenticity. Jungkook's track, with its introspective lyrics and atmospheric production, gives listeners exactly that. It's not just a song, it's a refuge, a space, a confession whispered into headphones during long drives, quiet nights, and moments when the world feels too loud. And there's more. Psychological music studies suggest that audiences are more emotionally vulnerable during periods of collective stress and tend to gravitate toward artists they perceive as genuine. Jungkook's military enlistment, his low profile, his lack of media noise, it has unintentionally crafted a narrative of purity. He hasn't been selling anything. He's just been. And now, when his music rises, it feels earned. That feeling of music that rises not because of flash, but because of soul, is exactly what American listeners have latched onto. But that's not the only reason fans dig deeper into the lyrics. Many are noticing something unusual. There are lines, subtle, quiet lines, that now sound like predictions. Lines that describe waiting, silence, yearning, transformation. Was Jungkook planting messages years ago? Did he know that this song would make sense later, not just emotionally, but prophetically? One line, in particular, has gone viral on X, formerly Twitter, and when the lights forget me, I'll still shine where they can't see. Army calls it the lyric that predicted his comeback. Because now, even after months away, his light is impossible to ignore. And in one especially unexpected moment, a famous American singer, known for chart-topping hits and massive streaming power, reposted a snippet of the song with a simple caption, "This hits different. Jungkook, I hear you." Fans erupted, not just because of the attention, but because of the silent recognition. This isn't about fame anymore. It's about something deeper. Yet the biggest question remains unanswered. Was this all part of Jungkook's silent blueprint, a slow, emotional takeover of American hearts, without ever needing to step on stage? Or is this simply the world finally catching up to what ARMY has known for years? No one from HYB has officially commented. No statement. No media spin. And maybe that's what makes it all feel even more intense. The silence is working. The quiet is loud. Still, whispers continue to swirl. Some suggest a surprise documentary is in the works, possibly detailing his journey, including unreleased studio footage that explains the real meaning behind this song. Others believe there's a collab on the horizon with a US icon, not a rumor, but a carefully timed move, meant to complete this unexpected arc. But the real shock is this: the track hasn't even peaked yet. It's still climbing, day by day. Climbing with no paid ads. Climbing with no award show performance. Climbing with just the voice. And in today's music industry, that's not just rare. It's historic. The emotions are running high, not just in Seoul or Jakarta or Manila, but in places like Chicago, Houston, Boston, Miami. American fans, once casual listeners, are now posting emotional messages about how this song is helping them heal. Comments like, "I don't understand Korean, but I feel every word. This song found me when I didn't even know I needed it. This isn't K-pop. This is soul pop." So now, the story is shifting from Jungkook is back to America is finally listening. But what happens next? Is this the calm before a bigger storm, a full-fledged US comeback that no one is ready for? And if so, what has Jungkook prepared for us after this silent rise? If this isn't the official comeback, then what is it? Why does it feel like something much bigger is quietly approaching? Why are fans now obsessing over every digital clue, every updated profile photo, every small change in Spotify bios and TikTok sound captions? Could this be the beginning of something none of us are prepared for, a plan that Jungkook has been building behind the scenes all along? The numbers haven't stopped. In fact, they've only grown more intense. The once underappreciated song is now being streamed over 1 million times a day in the US alone. But perhaps what's even more fascinating isn't the speed of its growth, but the pattern. It's not peaking and falling, it's climbing, then climbing again, as if guided by something just out of sight. A pattern, a countdown, and here's where things begin to feel like a coded message, a strategy embedded into silence. On the third day since the song began trending again, HYB's official account suddenly updated its banner. No announcement. No caption. Just a single blurred-out image with a distant silhouette that fans were quick to recognize. Jungkook. Hair cropped short. Standing alone. No words. No sound. Just presence. Theories exploded instantly. This is it. They're teasing the real comeback. He's returning. Not just musically. Physically. The countdown has begun. But what are we counting to? The emotional pull deepened. Suddenly, Jungkook's absence didn't feel like distance anymore. It felt like tension. Like something being held in, ready to break open. And the silence wasn't just quiet, it was electric. You could feel it. Every move became a message. Every update, a potential sign. Spotify, out of nowhere, added his track to multiple major US playlists in a single night. Billboard ran a feature calling him the voice that won't wait. On YouTube, older live performances of the same song, clips that were once overlooked, are now gaining millions of views. Even CNN's pop culture segment briefly touched on the phenomenon, asking, "Why is Jungkook trending again with a song that wasn't a hit last year, but is suddenly all anyone can talk about?" No answer, just more curiosity. And then came the real shock. ARMY sleuths discovered something no one expected. In the metadata of the now viral song, embedded in a secondary Spotify tag, was a tiny update made just days ago. A hidden track ID labeled JK_US_event_0725. The internet lost it. Fans are now convinced that July 25th is the date. The moment. The beginning of the next chapter. One Jungkook himself never spoke of, yet seems to have orchestrated perfectly. A reappearance. A digital performance? A sudden drop? A physical concert teaser? Nothing has been confirmed, and that's what makes this feel so cinematic. So unpredictable. So Jungkook, what's happening right now isn't just the rise of a song. It's the quiet rebirth of an artist, not through press tours or flashy interviews, but through impact, through resonance, through a voice that never needed permission to be felt. Jungkook, even while away, has somehow managed to speak louder than ever. But where is this all leading? Some say it's a prelude to an emotional, raw, stripped-down acoustic album, one recorded during military breaks, capturing the internal world of someone forced to pause while the world kept turning. Others believe this is a gateway to something even bolder, a solo US tour, an arena series, a project with global collaborators already in the works, one that blends East and West not as a crossover, but as a new genre entirely. But one thing is clear, Jungkook's silence is not absence. It's strategy. His return isn't loud, it's powerful. It doesn't scream, it resonates. And the song that's climbing now? It's not just a hit. It's a signal, a countdown, a soft siren that says, I'm not done. I never was. Fans are no longer asking if he'll come back, they're asking, what will happen when he does? The softness, the strain, the way his tone breaks just slightly during one of the choruses, a moment you'd miss if you weren't listening closely. But once you hear it, you can't forget it. It sounds like someone breaking, then rebuilding, within the same breath. And maybe that's what makes this song so different. It's not polished for perfection. It's carved with feeling. Every time it plays, it feels like a confession whispered through speakers. Even some American artists, known for their emotional vulnerability in music, have begun citing Jungkook as a new example of raw honesty done right. One Grammy-nominated singer even said in a podcast, I didn't understand the lyrics at first, but the feeling? That's universal. He's got it. That's what artistry is. And that's when you realize, Jungkook isn't just trending. He's teaching the industry that music doesn't need drama to be loud. That artistry doesn't need exposure to matter. That connection doesn't need translation to be understood. He's reminding the world that real music, vulnerable music, has power. And that silence, when it's filled with meaning, can be louder than any shout. But the most emotional part, this is only the beginning. HYB has still said nothing. No press release. No content drop.
No countdown timer.
And yet, the fans are waiting like they're sure something is coming. And maybe they are. Because this pattern, this slow build, this emotional storm, it doesn't lead to nothing. It feels like a setup, like the final inhale before a long-awaited return. There's a word trending now among fans, unspoken era. They're calling this entire moment the unspoken era, the time when Jungkook didn't speak, but somehow said everything. When he didn't dance, but still moved millions. When he didn't perform, but delivered his most unforgettable message yet. And the irony is painful. Because just when the world thinks it understands what this is about, charts, trends, virality, the truth reveals itself. This is not a comeback. This is an emotional reckoning, and the stage hasn't even been built yet.